Kanina we were saying that what differentiate primarily yung presidential with parliamentary. Diba, we all know that governments, no? Pag sinabi natin government, may iba't ibang branches ang government. And sabi natin, these branches are primarily composed of three. Ano yung three na yun? Fundamental branches divided into three. We have the executive. No? Executive branch. Next, another branch is judicial. No? Anong tinitingnan ng judicial branch? Kung may nagpapatupad ng batas, why the need for the judicial branch? Anong trabaho ng judicial branch?
Check, sir, ng pinapatupad.
Okay, tinicheck, di ba? Yun bang manner by which the law is implemented is number one, in accordance with the law ba siya?
Yes.
Yes, no? Kaya minsan may mga ano, di ba? May mga issues pertaining, for example, on questions of ito bang action ng government official na to ay constitutional or non-constitutional? Yes, no? Ito bang action ng isang executive official na to ay illegal or non-illegal, no? Yes, no? Okay, kung meron nagpapatupad ng batas, dapat may tumitingin din whether or not the same implementation of law is in accordance with the law. Hindi kasi pwedeng ito yung batas, ipapatupad mo siya in ways in contrary with the law. Yes, meron kang power magpatupad ng batas. For example, you are the president, but you must do it in what manner? In manner that is in accordance with the existing laws. Kaya merong judicial branch na tinatawag tayo.
Next to the judicial and executive, legislative.
Now, anong trabaho
Trabaho ng legislative. Okay, from the word legislative, no? When you legislate, what do you do?
The law.
You propose laws. No?
Okay? Ano pa bukod from proposing laws, ano bang power vested in the legislative branch? Bukod sa mag-legislate, no, or mag-propose ng mga bagong batas, ano pa yung pwedeng power ng legislative branch?
Gumawa and magpalit.
Pero sir, di sila magtatanggal?
Kapag gumawa sila ng batas, for example, na very much different from
An existing law,
Sir, yung
that is equivalent to pagtatanggal.
So,
Okay.
sir, yung mga tao nagtatrabaho po sa legislative
Branch.
Opo. Pwede nila po itanggal yung presidente if ever needed or kailangan, sir.
No. May limit kasi yung power ng mga lawmakers, senators, and
For example, mga elected
representatives sa House of Representatives or lower house.
they can only propose laws that are in accordance with what is being stated in the Constitution.
Yes, yeah.
So, sir, may position po ba sa sa government where pwede nila po itanggal or i-uphold yung presidente or wala po?
Pagka yung position na yun is being guaranteed by the Constitution, hindi mo pwedeng tanggalin basta ng isang batas lang yun.
Ang kinakailangan mong gawin as legislators, you will have to propose yung tinatawag na revision of the Constitution.
Eh di, kailan po ang mangyayari po ang impeachment?
Ang impeachment nasa Constitution naman eh.
Ay.
So, it is guaranteed by the Constitution. Kaya nga pwede ka mag-impeach, di ba? For example, aalisin mo yung position ng presidente. That cannot be, no? Kasi nasa Constitution yun, di ba? That the executive branch shall be headed by the elected president. Next mo? Nag-gets yung sinasabi ko? You cannot remove the position of the president, but under the Philippine Constitution, there is that part of the Constitution that the president may be removed. The person, no? The president may be removed, but not the position. Pwede mong tanggalin yung presidente, but not the position, not the office. Kahit saan government ka pa magpunta, merong 3 fundamental branches. Now, ano yung difference ngayon when you speak of parliamentary and presidential?
Forms of government. How these branches are organized.
Let's look at first presidential form of government. The presidential form of government, it is composed of three independent branches. There may tatlong branches, however, what differentiates presidential from parliamentary government? In this case, we have 3 independent branches. Independent in the sense that hindi mo pwede basta-basta pakialaman yung tatlong branches na to sa mga trabaho to be invested to them by the Constitution. Halimbawa, ito ang trabaho ng executive is implementation of laws. No? To implement. Ang trabaho ng legislative to make laws. Di ba? And the third one, yung trabaho ng judicial is to look into the legality and constitutionality, both ng proposed laws at ng act of implementation ng batas. Hindi pwedeng yung judicial ang gagawa ng batas. Always, it will be the task of the legislative branch. Hindi pwedeng yung legislative branch ang mag-implement ng batas. Meron tinatawag na separation of powers. If the power is executive, magpapatupad ng batas, then that power is vested, no? Primarily sa executive. If the power is judicial, dun yan vested no, sa judicial branch. Independent branches exercising separate powers din. Separate powers related sa government and governance. Now, tingnan natin ngayon what is the difference in organization when we look at the parliamentary form of government. Sa parliamentary form of government, there is, of course, bakit siya tinawag ng parliament? All because there is the presence of yung tinatawag na parliament. Then, bakit sa parliamentary? Very simple, coming from the word parliament. Yung parliament is composed of elected representatives. Now, itong mga elected representatives na to, from among themselves, sila ngayon yung nag-i-elect ng pinaka-highest official of the land in a parliamentary government. Tinatawag na Prime Minister.
Okay.
Here, when you look at presidential form of government, from lawmakers to president, vice president, sino yung nag-decide, sino yung pumuboto? Yung mga tao. Here, it's a different story for parliament. Ano gagawin ng mga tao? They have the power to choose their representatives in the parliament. An example of this parliamentary governments can be Japan. Great Britain, di ba, is also a case of parliamentary government. Most countries in Southeast Asia, many of them are in the form of parliamentary. Mukhang tayo nga lang yung nag-iisang no?
Yung scissor straight.
Tayo lang ang nag-iisang presidential, no? Sa South, I think sa Southeast Asia. Ano ang Singapore, di ba?
So tayo lang
Singapore, parliamentary.
Korea, Prime Minister.
President sa Korea.
Yes.
Pero Singapore, parliamentary, Prime Minister. Now, what is the difference of the parliamentary government of Singapore with the parliamentary government of Great Britain? Wala sa equation ng Singapore yung yung mga royalties ng mga monarchies.
Okay. Parliamentary monarchy.
In Japan kasi, di ba, they have the parliament, they have the prime minister, and then yung monarch nila, may role pa rin sa government. Ano yung papel ng monarch nila? ito yung tumatayo as symbolic head of the state. The monarch is not the head of the state, but it symbolizes. Symbolically, siya yung head of the state. But the real power to govern, no, the real exercise, for example, of executive power lies primarily on the Prime Minister.
The monarch assists, no? Halimbawa, bigay tayo ng example, no?
In Japan, for example, kung merong mga
foreign diplomats, no, who are to visit Japan, there are instances wherein na ang sumasalubong ay hindi yung Prime Minister, no, but rather the same diplomats are welcomed by
by the monarchy of Japan.
it's a symbolic, but in essence walang
Power sa government, no, yung monarchy nila. Anyway, balik tayo dito, no? What is the function of the parliament? Number one, meron siyang power to elect the prime minister. What is the prime minister? The prime minister is sort of the counterpart, no, of the president, no, in the presidential form of government. But what is the difference? Yung prime minister, you'll notice, sino pumipili sa kanya? Yung elected representatives. Parliamentary, the prime minister is elected by the elected members of the parliament. Sa presidential,
The people.
okay, yung people
People in general, no? Lahat ng registered voters in the Philippines,
they are the one who decides
and who vote as to who will be the president of the Philippines.
Dito, eto lang. No? Sa Philippines, ang presidente, merong term of office na tinatawag. And what is the term of office of a president in the Philippines?
Kung gano'n siya katagal, sir.
Gano'ng katagal?
6 years.
6 years. There was a time that the term of office under the 1935 Constitution is only 4 years.
Di ba po parehas yan po sa Amerika po na 4 lang na taon ang mga presidente.
Pero nag-revise tayo
Nagpalit tayo ng constitution natin. We did not revise, but rather we opted for a new constitution, 1987 constitution. So nabago yun. Kung dating ang provision sa 1935 Philippine Constitution is 4 years, no, ang term of office ng elected president. Sa 1987 Constitution, it was changed to 6 years. Kaya lang, sa 1935 Constitution, 4 years pero you can be re-elected. Sa 1987 Constitution, mas mahaba yung term of office, but as a general principle, you cannot run for re-election. Pag naging presidente ka na, 6 years, you finish that 6-year term of office,
Hindi ka na pwede mag-seek ng
re-election again as president.
Okay, may constitutional ban sa 1987 Constitution.
Sa 1935, pwede.
Presidente ka ngayon, tapos gusto mo pang tumakbo uli, pwede.
Ano po nangyari kay Ferdinand Marcos kaya tagal-tagal niya? Or ito po yung kay Ferdinand?
Ang history kasi ni Ferdinand Marcos, 2 beses siyang na-elect. Second time, no, that he was elected president, it was the same time that he declared martial law. And with that declaration of martial law, the effect of that is na-extend yung na-extend yung power ni Marcos as president. Kaya ang tingin nga ng iba, ang tingin ng ibang mga politicians or even some critics of Marcos, the motivation of Marcos in declaring martial law is actually extension
No hold niya sa power.
kasi talagang patapos na siya no? Doon sa second term niya, bago pa matapos, patapos na siya, pero bago pa matapos, what he did is to declare no, yung state of rebellion in the Philippines, which according to him necessitates
Declaration of martial.
pero dapat kung hindi nag-declare ng martial si Marcos 64 to 68 68 to plus 4 mga 1972 dapat meron tayong election, hindi martial. Pero one, the manner by which the highest official of the land, the head of the state, are selected. Ito elected by the citizen or the registered voters. Okay, in general. Dito naman, elected by elected representative in the parliament.
Yes, sir.
Dito may term of office, may fixed term of office. Dito naman,
Manunod.
as long as you have the pleasure
Of the parliament.
Oh, so depende sa kanila, sir.
as long as the parliament, no, so the representatives sitting in the parliament are in favor of you, no, staying and exercising the powers of the prime minister.
Walang problema.
You can be prime minister for life.
Walang limit.
No, yung term of office. You can be prime minister as long as for life, or pwede ka rin namang maging prime minister as short as 1 year.
Sir, pwede yung magbaback out ka na as Prime Minister?
Pwede naman, no?
Pwede, sir.
Pwede ka namang mag-back out, no? Pero, yun nga, no? Walang defined term of office. Pwede kang maging prime minister as short as 1 year, or pwede kang maging prime minister as long as 30, 50 years.
Depende sa kung iboboto ka pa rin ba ng kung hindi ka pa paalisin ng parliament. Okay? Yung tayo doon?
Yes, sir.
Now, let's look at the function next of the parliament. Dito, we see in the presidential form of government, hiwa-hiwalay, di ba? Hiwalay yung lawmaking, hiwalay yung implementation of laws, hiwalay yung judicial, no? Hiwalay yung judicial, no? Yung judgment of whether the law being proposed or the law being implemented is done in manner that is legal and constitutional. Okay? Hiwalay, tatlo, no? In the parliament, itong parliament na to, ito na rin yung gumagawa ng function of legislation
Mambabasa.
and okay, execution, no? Or implementation of laws. Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Dito, kung sino yung i-elect mong representative, sila na rin yung lawmaker mo, and at the same time, sila na rin yung implementer mo ng laws. Yes, nyo? Pag ganon, no? Kaya when you try to look at it, anong big difference ng parliamentary form of government dun sa presidential? Mas kukonti, no? Di ba sa presidential, meron kang separate set of officials who will implement the law. Meron kang separate set of officials who will legislate laws.
Maghiwalay, no? Yes, no?
Unlike in a parliamentary government, kung sino yung representatives nyo, sila na yung gagawa ng batas, no? Sila na rin, no? It is from their ranks na rin magagaling yung mag-i-implement ng batas. Yes, no? Sa atin, iba, no? Etong Senate and, or the Philippine Congress creates law, and then another branch implements it, the executive branch. Okay? Kaya sa parliamentary form of government, merong isang research no? Tinignan na rin efficacy ng lawmaking under parliamentary and presidential form of government. Mas mabilis, no? Mas mabilis magpatupad tsaka mag-implement, mag-propose ng batas under a parliamentary form of government. Okay? At mas mura. Yes, no? Bakit mas mura? Why is it cheaper running a parliamentary government than running a presidential form of government?
Sir,
There is no debate in this, no? Pagka tinignan mo, talagang cheaper. Bakit?
Sir, kasi wala nang campaign si Turbanes.
Unang-una, pagka presidential campaign, no? There is no need for election, no? Popular election.
Tapos yun nga, no? Yung bayad mo sa lawmaker and implementer ng law, isa na lang.
Yes, sir.
No? Sa presidential, ang bayad, binabayaran mo kasi, tatlo, no? Yes, no? Kaya in the Philippines, no wonder, marami rin ang naglalabi na bakit di natin palitan, bakit di natin gawing parliamentary na lang ang form of government in the Philippines.
O kaya lang, sabi naman ng iba,
Bakit kaya yung iba against sa parliamentary form of government?
Sir, kasi walang term of office.
okay, number one, walang term of office, no?
Kumbaga, ito kaibigan ko, ako yung Prime Minister, i-bribe ko lang ng i-bribe to mga members ng parliament. I will be forever Prime Minister. Diba? Tuwa niyo rin yung danger.
Yes.
Eh naman ang danger, no, ng parliamentary form of government.
Okay. Ito naman, very democratic, kaya lang na masyadong magastos.
Yes.
No? Tapos masyado rin mabagal. No? Take note. Ito kasi, what is the advantage here? What is the advantage of you? What is the advantage of this? No? Ako yung gumagawa ng batas. Kami yung gumagawa ng batas and at the same time, kami rin yung nag-i-implement ng batas. What is the advantage of that?
Mas magiging mali.
Huh?
Wala nang... walang miscommunication. Like, direct sir, direct na po.
Direct, di ba? Kumbaga, pag in-implement mo yung batas na ginawa nyo, makikita mo kaagad asan yung mali. Asan yung defect, no? But in the case of presidential kasi, eto yung nagpapatupad, sila yung nakakita kung ano yung mali sa batas. Pero ito naman yung wala yung gumagawa. No? Gets nyo? Kaya minsan makita mo problem sa Philippines, minsan may mga batas na being proposed na when you try to qualify, parang nonsense. No? Parang hindi naman ito yung kailangan talaga ng mga tao. No? And that's the big difference kapag ikaw ay bukod sa gumagawa ka ng batas, nagpapatupad ka rin ng batas. No? Kasi pag pinatupad mo yung batas, dadalhin mo yung batas sa grassroots, tama? No? Alam mo kung gaano ka suitable, no? How suitable, how fit yung batas doon sa realities, no? Nung grounds, no? Ng grassroots to which these laws or set of laws are intended. Or kung gaano ka-fit yung law sa problem na gusto niyang isolve. Yes nyo? Ha? Oh. Ano tayo? Ha?
Yes, sir.
Difference between presidential and parliament. Nakita nyo how the organization of the three branches is different in the parliamentary
and that of the presidential. Dito combine. No? Combine yung execution tsaka legislation. Dito set, hiwalay.
So, ano silang judicial? Ay, sa bagay.
Yung judicial, yung parliamentary ng pumipili. Yes, no?
From among representatives na rin. Or kung hindi man from among representatives, nag-a-appoint, no? Nag-a-appoint yung Prime Minister with consent of the Parliament kung sino ang tatayo sa judicial, who will constitute the judicial branch. Gets nyo? Sa presidential form of government, sino ang may power to appoint? For example, the Supreme Court, justices,
President.
the President.
Ano yan, no?
Privilege ng President. Okay?
Dito naman, who decides the Prime Minister and the Parliament. O, mag-decide tayo, no? Kung sino ba ang gagawin natin. Ayun ang isa lang great advantage dito, mabilis, no? Mabilis yung... Kasi kung dito kasi, bago pumasa ang batas, diba, sa Philippine legislative branch natin. Meron tayong legislative branch natin is further divided into two. Diba? Meron tayong Senate,
Sa mga...
no, tinatawag na upper house. Meron din tayong House of Representatives, no, referred to as the lower house. Bago pumasa yung batas, diba, meron isang proposed may isang proposed law si Don. No? Dapat mapagdebatean muna tong proposed law na to, both sa Senate and the House of Representatives. And dapat parehong makatanggap, no, ng votes of approval, no, both sa Senate and the House of Representatives. Yes, niya? Bago maging isang batas. And bago magbotohan, ilang readings muna. Kakailanganin pang mag-undergo ng 3 readings. Both houses yun, ha? House of Representatives and the Senate.
Ganun ka-komplikado yung lawmaking sa atin.
Kaya halimbawa, pag nag-propose ka, for example, ng increase in salary, yung amount, no, being demanded as increased salary was proposed 2020. No, sa tagal nung sa tagal ng processing ng law that will
5 years.
okay, that will allow for that, minsan yung supposed salary increase na dapat na ibigay ng 2021, minsan ay bibigay na mga after 4 years, 5 years. Huli na yung batas, no? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Ha?
Ang bilis niya.
Huli yung batas sa pagtataas ng sahod, pero hindi huli yung pagtataas ng presyo ng mga bilihin. Gets nyo? Pag inaalaw mo ang pagtataas ng presyo ng bilihin, dapat ganun ka rin kabilis magtaas ng sahod ng mga tao. Tama? Otherwise, unfair yun, no, sa mga consumers. Tama?
Tama.
Okay, so clear tayo. Clear, ha?
Yes, sir.
Any question with the presidential and parliamentary form of government? No question?
So far.
Eh, yung kanina yung sinasabi natin, no? There are instances wherein you are parliamentary but
Pasok ka pa rin as a republic. Okay?
if the same parliamentary government
does not recognize authorities, for example, of a particular monarch, no? Prime Minister lang, then you are a republic. Pero kung merong inclusion ng monarch, no? Halimbawa sa England, England, Great Britain, may power pa rin ba ang monarch sa England and Great Britain?
Yes.
Actually, yung Queen, for example, Queen Elizabeth, she has all the power to dissolve the parliament.
No.
O kaya lang hindi niya ginagawa yun. Otherwise, it will mean revolution. No? Pero kita mo, andun pa rin sa structure ng government, di ba? Yung monarch, may power pa rin siya.
What is being headed by Queen Elizabeth before her demise? He heads the House of Lords. Diba ang parliament ng
English Parliament, di ba? House of Commons and House of Lords. O yung Queen, sino pinaka-head ng House of Lords?
yung monarch. Before it's Queen Elizabeth today, sino yung pumalit sa kanya? Patay na si Queen Elizabeth, di ba? Successor to her, sino? Yung asawa ni Princess Diana?
Si Philip. Philip ba yun?
Hindi.
Philip ba yun? Diba?
King Philip yung
Alin?
partner ni, naliling na partner ni Okay, anak
Prince
niya
Henry.
si King Charles na ngayon, no? Before it's Prince Charles.